All right, welcome back to English for You. I am Pat.
And I'm Mike.
And we're on day 2 of our article about Queenstown. So Queenstown is a town or city in the South Island of New Zealand. And it's become pretty famous, not just because of its natural beauty, which there's a lot of in New Zealand, but for the sheer amount of fun activities you can do there.
That's absolutely right. Now, of course, they have mountains down there in Queenstown. This is what the town first became well known for hundreds of years ago. Miners, people used to dig into the earth and into the local mountains, used to go there looking for gems and metals, precious stones like diamonds and valuable metals like gold and stuff like that. Well, the miners are gone, the mines are gone, the gold's gone, but the mountains are still there, and that is why people are flocking or going there these days for exciting adventure sports like,
well, kayaking, riding shark boats, and parasailing, all of which you can do on the beautiful blue waters of Lake Wakatipu. But that's not all that's there.
Yes, that's right. There are also rivers, of course, leading into the lake, and canyons, or deep valleys, deep areas where the rivers flow down, and you can explore those as well. And Queenstown in general, the whole place has a reputation as a destination or a place for excitement, so much so that it's known as the adventure capital of the world.
Yep, big
well, at least
claim.
That's what they call it.
Well, today we'll find out some more exciting things that you can do there, but also look at what Queenstown has to offer for those who want to slow down and relax after a day of crazy sports and activities.
Yeah, it's good to give your heart a rest.
Yeah, let's find out more by reading through day 2 of our article.
Reading.
Queenstown, the land of adventure. Usually, climbing mountains and boating on a lake sound pretty challenging. However, they don't come close to the thrills of Queenstown. In the town's more extreme activities, you can see people falling or flying through the air. One example is bungee jumping. You leap from a high place after you attach a rope to your body. At Kawarau Bridge, you can fall 43 meters toward the river below. There are also zip line adventures. These let you fly high above deep canyons while you hang from a rope. After you experience the thrills, you might want to slow down and relax. The Queenstown region is home to over 200 vineyards that are open for tours. The center of town also offers great international dining. And the best way to end a day in Queenstown is by viewing the stars after dark. There's so much to do here. What will you do on your adventure?
All right, so let's get into our article today. Now it says usually climbing mountains and boating on a lake sound pretty challenging. Yeah, some of the activities that we heard about yesterday, climbing mountains, parasailing, shark boating on Lake Wakatipu, a lot of those sound quite challenging, a little bit dangerous, you know, not the easiest thing you can do, something that will get your heart beating and maybe make you a little nervous before you do it. So that's something that's challenging, something that's a little difficult, will push you or test you a little bit.
But we can do more.
Oh no.
As we say in the article, however, these activities we've already mentioned, don't come close to the thrills of Queenstown.
Wow.
So this phrasal verb come close to means to be near to or similar to in any way. And it kind of implies that one thing is far better or scarier or has a lot more of something than the other. Suppose we talk about two basketball players. One is so much better than the other. We say that this guy, he can't come close to this guy. He's so much higher, better, more skillful. It's like he's in a different world.
Oh, like Taipei is a big city, but it doesn't come close to Tokyo,
right,
which has almost as many people as the whole country of Taiwan. So there you go. They're similar, but not that similar. And let's talk about the thrills of this kind of activity, which is sort of exciting. Doesn't come close to the thrill of that. Here, we're comparing the excitement of something. The thrill of something is the excitement of something, and as I said, maybe a little bit of the danger of something, all right? So if you're using it as an adjective, something thrilling is exciting and a little bit dangerous, makes you a little bit worried about your own safety. It's not something that you're definitely going to get hurt or you could definitely die, but it's a little bit more exciting than, you know, sitting in a chair and watching a movie.
Yeah, we can also use the word thrill to talk about the feeling you get.
Yeah.
You'd say, I felt a thrill when I did this particular thing.
Extreme excitement.
Exactly. Well, what will give you a thrill? Let's read on. In the town's more extreme activities, you can see people falling or flying through the air.
On purpose?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Now, if something is described as extreme, it's even more than normal, even more than you might expect, even when you're thinking of something that's kind of crazy, kind of dangerous, kind of out on the edge. Something extreme is right at the edges of something. We often also use the adverb extremely as a way of saying very, very, very. So if it's hot today and suddenly the temperature goes up 20 more degrees tomorrow, wow, it's extremely hot tomorrow. So something that is extreme is at the outer edges of what you would expect, or even into an area that could be dangerous or something like that. And we often use this adjective to talk about sports with some dangerous aspect to them. Skydiving, jumping out of an airplane, that's an extreme sport. Those motorcycle jumps you see where they flip around in the air 2 or 3 times before landing safely on their wheels. That's an extreme sport. If you make a mistake, you could be badly hurt or even killed. Here's another extreme sport, maybe this one you haven't heard of. Extreme ironing is one of the strangest sports I've ever seen. This is a kind of a joke sport, but people will take an ironing board and an iron and clothes, and then they'll try to iron a shirt under the ocean or on top of a mountain or while falling out of an airplane. Extreme ironing is, yeah, definitely strange and quite extreme.
Now, in that sentence, we also saw today's grammar point, to see people flying or falling through the air. We use verbs related to our senses, such as see, hear, or notice, or even observe, plus a noun, and then either a verb or a verb in the V-ing form to describe the things that we have seen or heard or noticed, and so on. Now, when we use the V-ing form of the verb, we're emphasizing that we saw the action in progress. I saw him walking across the road. I saw him while he was doing it. The base form of the verb emphasizes that we saw the whole action. I saw him walk across the road means I saw him start, carry on, and finish crossing it. Most of the time, V and the V-ing form carry the same meaning. So if we say, I saw him talk to his teacher, and I saw him talking to his teacher, basically the sentences have no real difference in meaning. We use this sentence when we're describing events that we witnessed, things that we experienced, and we want to tell others about him. I saw people jumping off a cliff. I heard birds singing, if it's a listening experience. Here's another example. I noticed my friend looking at his phone during the test. He was cheating.
Oh my God, no, that's just extreme test taking.
Right.
No, that's cheating. Yeah. All right, so let's look at some of these really extreme sports that people do in Queenstown where they will be flying through the air, and this is not an accident. They are doing this on purpose. In fact, they often pay a lot of money to do it. It says one example is bungee jumping. Yes, absolutely. That is probably one of the classic extreme sports.
Okay, and we actually explain what this is in the article. It says you leap from a high place after you attach a rope to your body. It's an elastic rope like a rubber band, so you bounce a bit.
Right.
And you can kind of strap it to your body.
Yep.
When I did it, it was just around my legs.
Wow.
So it definitely felt pretty scary when I leapt off. Leapt is the past tense of the verb leap. And the word leap means to jump into the air or jump over a long distance. It's kind of like jump, but a little more than jump.
Right.
Okay. For example, the sleeping cat suddenly woke up and leaped into the air when the door slammed.
Oh my gosh. Must have been very scared.
Yeah, to be fair, I didn't so much as leap in the bungee jump as fall.
Yeah.
I decided I wanted to go over backwards, so I just kind of held, let go, and dropped.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you don't really have to jump when gravity is pulling you down, but you do have to attach something to yourself when you go bungee jumping. Otherwise, that's a different sport and you could get hurt. But to attach anything to anything is to join those things together, to fasten those things together so that they work now or they move now as one. They're two separate things normally, but you're doing some kind of action to join them together. The classic example might be a train, right? You can have the different cars of a train, but they'll only have one thing rolling down the tracks until you attach all of those things together. Now you have a train. You have to join them together in some secure or fixed way so that they stay together as one. So let's say you're in Queenstown. Let's say you want to do some bungee jumping. Can you just do it at your hotel or at the local McDonald's?
It wouldn't be so much fun if you did. No, you want to go to a place that's high up and that you can drop into. Here we go. At Kawarau Bridge, I think that's how you say it,
okay.
You can fall 43 meters toward the river below.
Wow.
I think mine was about 50. I did it in the North Island, and I also fell around that far and also into a river. You can tell them, you can say, dip me into my arms, dip my head, dip my whole body, and they'll just make a few changes to the rope so you could really go into the water if you want.
There you go, bungee jumping. But that might be a little exciting for you, or maybe you did that in the morning and in the afternoon you want something a little calmer. It says there are also zip line adventures.
Oh, I've done this one too.
Oh, okay.
Have you?
No, I've never had the chance. I've always thought it looked really cool, but I've never had the chance.
I did this in Canada.
Okay.
I did it just north of Vancouver in the mountains and over the canyons there. The first, you did about 5. The first 3 were fairly comfortable. The last 2 were super scary.
Okay, maybe you can explain what a zip line is.
The article explains these let you fly high above deep canyons while you hang from a rope. There's basically thick wires stretched from one side of the valley to another, very high above the ground. And I was sitting in a small seat, kind of tied to the rope. The first side is a little bit higher than the second side, so they push you and you just go whee, and then crash into the other end. You sort of bump in and then, yeah, it's pretty scary because the longer zips, you might be a minute hanging above this empty space, only sitting on a little tiny seat thinking, what if this line breaks?
Wow,
what
and of course
happen?
you go faster and faster as you go down, I guess, right?
Yeah, so yep, it can get pretty scary. It's all done very safely.
Cool.
So when you take part in a zipline activity, you do need to hang from these lines. To hang can either mean to put something somewhere, so the top part's held in position, but the bottom part is kind of loose and move, or it means you are the person that is hanging, or the thing that is hanging. So it's got 2 meanings. You could hang up a coat, or you could say the coat is hanging from a hook on the door. Here in our article, we're using the second meaning because you are the one hanging from this zip line. The top part is connected, but the bottom part, with you sitting in it, just kind of shakes there. Here's another example. When we looked up, we saw thousands of bats hanging from the roof of the cave. So their feet were attached to the rock, the rest of their bodies just were hanging there. Yeah, a lot of fun, a little bit scary.
Absolutely. So a lot of great things to do. You'll really get your heart racing down in Queenstown. But yes, at some point you do want to take it easy. It says after you experience the thrills, you might want to slow down and relax. Okay, there we could say thrills or excitement. We could also say after you experience the excitement, you might want to slow down and relax. Yeah, absolutely. This verb relax, to take it easy, to rest. Maybe you're sitting down or lying down, something like that. That's definitely a way to relax. But if you've been busy all day just sitting and watching TV or sitting and having a drink or a snack with your friends, your body is at ease, your mind is at ease, you're not doing anything challenging or difficult or exciting. You're just giving your body a rest. Maybe by doing something like sleeping or something like that, but also just by not being very active, by doing something that puts you at ease. For example, it's been a long week. I think I'll just stay home and relax on Friday night. Maybe watch TV, play a video game, but not be out and about doing lots of things.
Right, so how do you relax in Queenstown? Well, first, we're going to tell you a little bit of something about the Queenstown area. It says in the article, the Queenstown region is home to over 200 vineyards that are open for tours.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we'll explain a bit more about that in a moment. First, let's look at the word region. A region is an area, and it's usually a fairly kind of distinct area that you can separate from the ones around it. So in Taiwan, you might say North Taiwan is a region, the South, the East Coast, the mountains in the middle. These are different regions, and maybe the geography, the climate, and maybe even the culture, or possibly the language is different from the other areas around it. So you can easily see this is one region, this is what happens here, this is another region, things are a bit different. And you can have regions in a city as well. You might have a business district, a place where a lot of people live, a place where most of the shops are, the shopping district. So we could say, for example, this region of the city has lots of stores that sell computer parts. And here we're talking about this region of New Zealand and what it is home to.
Now this phrasal verb, be home to something, we're basically saying where you can find a particular thing. Now the funny thing is here, we're not usually talking about your home. You wouldn't say this building is home to me and my family. Well, you could, but generally we're talking about something that's not a home, but it's a place that's connected or where you can find a lot of that kind of thing, all right? So we could be talking about something that people grow or make or they sell in that area. It could be a business that's located in that building, possibly even. This building is home to the headquarters of that big famous company, or this city is home to that big famous company. That's where it's located. That's where its central base is. All right, so we're not talking about a home. We're talking about the place we can find a particular, interesting, unique, or special thing.
Okay, so what is this region of Queenstown home to? It is home to a number of vineyards. So vineyard, and it looks like vineyard when you put it together. You say it vineyard. It's a place where wine grapes are grown and turned into wine.
That's right.
So there are different grapes are used for different things. Some we eat, some are more suitable for turning into wine. Grapes grow on vines, so that's why you call it a vineyard. And I think it also relates to the French and Italian words for wine as well. But it's basically just the place where you grow the grapes and turn them into wine.
That's right. And with great wine, of course, you often, or you would want to have, you often do find and you want to find great food as well. It says the center of town, Queenstown, the center of the city, or downtown Queenstown, also offers great international dining. So great wine, great food. It's a great thing to have together and also a great way to relax. Because when people relax, one of the things they like to do is eat. And when we're eating, We could say it's a place where people like to eat, but we often say it's a place for good dining. Dining is basically just eating a meal. The dining room is the part of your home where you might eat your food, eat your meals, eat your dinner and your lunch and things like that. When we use dining in this way, we're kind of talking about eating for pleasure, often out in a restaurant, in the business life of the city, the dining district or a center of dining or something is where there's good restaurants and lots of people go there to spend money on really good food. Here's a good example of a place with great dining. Tokyo is a huge city and is world famous for great shopping and dining. If you go to Tokyo, people will often tell you about a great store you have to go to and a great restaurant you have to go to, probably for fancy sushi or something like that.
Okay, which is, so you can imagine then you've had a day of crazy fun and then you go for a glass of wine, a nice meal, and then the article says, and the best way to end a day in Queenstown is by viewing the stars after dark.
Wow. I'm exhausted. What a busy day. As the article says, there's so much to do here. Bungee jumping in the morning, shark boating in the afternoon, great food, great wine, beautiful mountains and stars. There is so much to do here. You won't be bored in Queenstown.
In fact, you will be maybe having to make some difficult choices about what you do with your time.
Or just stay longer.
Right, and the article finishes by putting that question to you. It says, what will you do on your adventure?
Everything.
Everything. Maybe you can, maybe you don't have time. And since that's a question, that's a good opportunity for us now to go to today's For You chat question.
For You chat.
So our question today is, do you prefer scary activities or relaxing and calm ones? And talk about your choice, kind of give a reason for why you chose that.
Interesting. Well, I think today I'd probably prefer relaxing and calm ones. The world is pretty scary as it is, so it's nice to relax and just enjoy yourself. Take it easy. So I think a nice meal and some nice wine in Queenstown sounds pretty good to me. What about you? I guess you'd be shark boating and doing all that other stuff all the time,
I think
right?
it's pretty obvious from today's these two articles that I will, if there's a scary, crazy, extreme activity going on, I will try and make time and find money to include it in my vacation. But I'm also pretty lazy, and so my perfect vacation is just doing nothing on a beach.
Okay.
So I will go both ways. If there's something scary, I'll give it a try. But you know what? Relaxing after a scary activity and an exciting day of extreme things often feels better than relaxing after a day of not doing so much.
Okay.
So I think the combination of the two is the key to it. You know, if you're relaxing after a good hike, you think, oh, I've really earned this rest and this meal and this food. I've done something exciting and scary. I've experienced that. Now I'm going to feel good by taking a relaxing moment.
What if you put it the other way around? You can have a really good meal in an airplane and then jump out of the airplane.
Oh, I'm not sure if you and your food would arrive at the ground at the same time.
It would be extreme.
It would be an interesting thing to try, but there you go. What about you guys? Would you prefer to do scary, extreme activities or just take it easy and have a relaxing time? Talk about your choice with yourselves, but we're out of time for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. For English for You, I'm Pat.
And I'm Mike.
Talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Queenstown, the land of adventure. Usually, climbing mountains and boating on a lake sound pretty challenging. However, they don't come close to the thrills of Queenstown. In the town's more extreme activities, you can see people falling or flying through the air. One example is bungee jumping. You leap from a high place after you attach a rope to your body. At Kawarau Bridge, you can fall 43 meters toward the river below. There are also zip line adventures. These let you fly high above deep canyons while you hang from a rope. After you experience the thrills, you might want to slow down and relax. The Queenstown region is home to over 200 vineyards that are open for tours. The center of town also offers great international dining. And the best way to end a day in Queenstown is by viewing the stars after dark. There's so much to do here. What will you do on your adventure?
Vocabulary Review.
Extreme. When we visited northern Canada last winter, the extreme cold was difficult to bear. Leap. The cat leaped out of the tree and landed on the roof of the house. Hang. A small light was hanging from a thin cable in the ceiling. Relax. After a hard day at work, I went home and relaxed in a comfortable chair. Region. There are many high mountains in the central region of Taiwan. Dining. This beautiful restaurant serves great food and gives people a wonderful dining experience.
智慧小补帖
Thrill. Attach. Vineyard.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net